and welcome back to the sewing room. I'm Marie of Historical Belle, and this is Lucky. She is the best sewing supervisor ever. I know, I just can't do projects without you. I can't. I wouldn't know what to do. So today, I'm going to show you how I made a medieval gambeson for my husband, specifically one that is more of the early medieval period, like the 1000s to 1100s is really where his persona is taking place, like the late 1000s, early 1100s. I am slowly but surely getting more and more into medieval reenacting as we get more and more into the Society for Creative Anachronisms, or the SCA for short, and I am still learning a lot. This is the first gambeson I have, actually no, this is the second gambeson I ever made, but the other one was like a Roman one, and anyway, the guy had a pattern. He handed me like the one, he's like, make one of these, but another one. I was like, cool. So I didn't have to research anything. This one I've been researching a wee bit. As far as I can tell, there are no Norman gambesons from the late 1000s or the 1100s that exist. We have a few pictorial evidence to go off of, mainly the Bayeux Tapestry. Thank you to all of those lovely ladies who embroidered it. At least that's what we believe happened. So that's mainly what I'm going off of. And then also other people's research that have done so. And I'll link some of that down below as best I can. So, Lucky, we need to make one of these because my husband has decided that he's going to start wearing his chainmail, whether he has one of these under his chainmail or not. I mean, he has like a shirt, like a puffy shirt, but it's not good. It's not good. And he's going to fight practice tomorrow. So my goal is to make this in one night so that I can protect him at a fight practice tomorrow. I know. Men are silly sometimes. Yes, they are. His chainmail is really cool though. But I got my fabric washed and it's ready to go. So let's cut it out. I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to make. I think I can do it in one night. Let's do it.
The fabric that I'm using for this project is a white cotton. Now, historically, this is not what a gambeson or sub-armor is going to be made out of because cotton was really expensive in medieval Europe. It was going to have to be imported. In history, it probably would have been made out of a linen or maybe even a wool. Now, like I said, I'm making mine out of cotton because it's the cheaper version, and this is going to get not quite destroyed by my husband while he's fighting, but it's going to take a beating for sure. I don't have a pattern. I'm just making this up as I go along. I used a t-shirt to give me my base measurement, and then I took the measurement from my husband's shoulder to right above his knee, and that's the length of my garment. Here I am cutting out the quilting batting. Once I have already cut out the cotton that I'm using that as my guide for the batting. This is what's going to provide a little bit of a protective layer between the two sheets of the cotton. So the cotton, I just kind of made one big piece that I folded over and then kind of tacoed the quilting batting into. This worked out pretty well for me. And then I began marking it to quilt it and using my big quilting ruler. I have quilted just a few things before, and honestly, I love it. I love the geometric pattern of doing the diamonds. I love how repetitive it is. I don't know if I could do this, if I would say that if I was doing this with hand sewing. I will be doing it by machine, but I really enjoy doing it by machine and then seeing the pattern come to life. I'm doing a diamond pattern because that is what I saw on the Bayeux Tapestry. It looked like what they had was a diamond pattern. We assume that it's because it's quilted in a diamond pattern. This could have also been a representation of chainmail. Chainmail is usually circular though, and there's also depictions on the Bayeux Tapestry of circles, which I assume that's chainmail, and then the diamonds are going to be the representation of the quilting. In this example, I believe that the man on the left is wearing a quilted gambeson, while the man on the right is wearing chainmail. I believe that because he is also wearing a chainmail coif, and perhaps he is of a higher status where he has metal armor and everybody else is doing the best that they can with some quilted armor. At this point, it's everyone's best guess as to what exactly it is because it's not like it tells us. So that would be my interpretation of it. and I think it's decent. So to quilt, I went ahead and I sewed everything one way, and now I'm going to go back and do it all again to create that diamond pattern, but the opposite way. I like to put my pins in the middle so I don't have to move any of my pins while I'm sewing. I think it makes it just go a little bit faster. And when I'm doing my second round, I don't feel like I have to put as many pins in either because I already have a lot of lines of stitching holding everything in place, but it's nice to just be extra secure.
So, sadly, I did not get the entirety of the Gambeson done last night. I dreamed too big, and I underestimated how long it would take, which is a constant problem that I have. So, I did get a lot of it done though. I got the front and back pieces cut out, sewn together, and quilted. So, that's not like a little bit. That's actually quite a lot of it. So now I'm going to work on the sleeves. I'm going to get the sleeves cut out, sewn together, quilted, and the gussets, and then stick it all together because those are really the only pieces that I have. And then I'm thinking about binding everything, like the hem and the neckline. So yeah, maybe I think there's a high possibility I could get it done tonight. But really, I really just need to get it done by next weekend. So Sunday night right now, I need to get it done by Friday, because next weekend, Saturday, is going to be Castle Wars, which is a big SCA event down here in good old Georgia. And my husband's going to be fighting in it, and I want him to be protected. He did go to fight practice today, and because I actually had his chainmail down here, he had to wear something else. So he wouldn't have worn the Gambeson with it anyway, right? Whoops. Okay. But yeah, let's get going.
So for the sleeves, I measured how long the sleeves were on his chainmail, and then that's going to be my guide for making the sleeves for the Gambeson. Some of the Gambesons look like they might have longer sleeves, and we thought about this, but then decided that it would be better to have a short sleeve Gambeson because the SCA requires arm armor. And it's not like that is shown in the Bayeux Tapestry because the SCA does care about people being okay more than about authenticity. And I really appreciate that. I think that's great. We should care more about safety than authenticity. So for movement, since that place is already going to be protected, then it's really the shoulder that we need to worry about. And it might restrict movement around the elbow if I make a longer sleeve that is quilted. So we're going to go with the short sleeves. So I took the measurements of the sleeve from the chainmail, then transferred it onto the cotton. I decided to quilt this sleeve because the shoulder is an area that, of course, needs to be protected, as well as the upper arm. But then I'm not going to quilt the gusset that goes underneath the arm because, again, we're thinking about swinging motions and the arm flexibility. And it's not like anybody really gets hit in the armpit. Like, that's a really weird place to get hit. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm sure it is possible, but it's not a regular place that you're going to get hit at all. So I'm not going to quilt the gusset, just the sleeve. The sleeves went really fast. I mean, it's rectangles and squares. And I'm, again, just doing it all by machine and quilting it. So here I am inserting the gusset. I have a whole video where I go into this in more detail. If you are interested, I have I'm starting a whole playlist about things that I make in my SCA journey. So a whole medieval playlist, and sometimes I don't want to go into talking about all of the stuff that I've already talked about there in case people have already seen it. So I will, of course, also link that down below if you are interested, if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have, thank you so much for your support and for watching all of that and coming along on this journey with me. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you have a lot of fun. And just thanks for being here. Here I am setting the sleeve with the gusset into the main body of the Gambeson. Now, the interesting thing about this Gambeson that is different than the tunics that I have made is that it does not have any gores. There are not going to be gores on the side. There's not going to be a gore in the middle. There's just going to be a slit up the middle. And I will show you how I'm going to do that in the next few clips. So here I am sewing the arms in place and the shoulder seams. I'm going to leave the side seams free because I'm going to do a whole fitting situation where I'm going to evaluate what's going on with the skirt area of this gambeson. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But also what's really important when you try something on is that it fits over your head. So I had left a gap of about 10 inches. And now I'm making a little slit to go down the front. I'm going to do some shaping on this neckline, but I'm going to do that after I have my husband try it on.
I'm just trying to make sure, like, it,
Yeah.
moves as I'm fighting and stuff. Yeah, I think it's good. Let's put the armor on.
Okay. It's so heavy. Lucky's out.
Feels great. Hit me!
No. Fiddling with your neckline.
Please. Ooh, nice. That felt good.
Yeah. And then this
Do you like my shoulder? Pull my arm, like. Yeah. Now the other side. Oh yeah, that felt like it really settled everything. How does it look now?
It looks better. And then this would be
Like finished.
folded down.
That okay. See, boom.
Like
we
that.
feel good. And then I have my gorget. Then I have my other stuff. Yeah.
But
No, this feels good.
Yeah, and then that would all be finished off. And then that is just very...
I have a skirt.
You do have a skirt.
You can. I would do it. Yeah, I mean.
Usually it's supposed to come up to like here.
The cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Like your waist.
Alright,
Then
he's gonna be
I would sew...
down there, and it would be open here.
Yeah.
I kind of like it open on the side. Because I'm not gonna be doing any writing.
No.
No, do the middle. It'll be good.
Okay, I think it's just, it protects the side of your
exactly.
leg more.
Yeah. And then just cut it to like right below this line and it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to mark it now?
Yeah.
So I had made this gambeson a little long, and here I am hemming it to where it's going to fall directly at the same length as the chainmail. So that'll be really nice and look really clean. And I've been just using a water-soluble marker to do all of this. So it's been fine. And there was something really satisfying about drawing the line and then just cutting all of that off. It brought me joy. Lucky is unsure of the chainmail.
She's not mad about being held, though.
She's never mad about being held.
Okay. She's mad about being put down, though.
She does actually get quite mad. I'm surprised she didn't swat you. She will swat you.
She almost tried to, but she knows I'm protected.
Because of the chainmail? I mean, it is supposed to be against, like, slashing damage.
Can't slash this, no.
Nah. Alright, so now our sleeves. They are longer. They are only a little fuller. I was worried about them not, like, fitting through here, but it looks okay.
Good.
Do you like that length?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just, like, cuff it there,
Yeah.
that'll be good.
I was just going to put a band on it.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay. I'll leave it then.
Because then I have, like, this free and I can put straps on and stuff.
Okay. Nice.
I'm ready to fight!
Yeah, you are. Ready to fight
Sensual violence!
Ready to fight in Castle Wars?
Ready to fight in Castle Wars with my trebuchet.
You did get a trebuchet today.
Very excited about that.
Stay tuned for more trebuchet content.
Oh, you gotta say the line.
I know. Alright, show the people what they want.
The smolder. No, I'm super hyped, so ready to fight. I got my tunic on underneath and my, well, pajama pants on, but that's fine. The arms feel good. There's a little bit of restriction on the under tunic, but that's because it's not wasn't designed like for the movement of battle. It was designed for just like looking cute and good and stuff. So might get that later on the road, but honestly it's only if I have it like all the way down and I bend my knee, like that's the only way I can't move, which is I don't think gonna be too restrictive. So I feel really good about it. I feel really protected.
That's the plan.
We took some wax earlier. She hit me some, and already.
That's a lie.
It's not a lie. She patted on me.
I did this.
She has to do this because otherwise see, she hit me on camera. So, anyway, very excited to have it mostly done. We're going to fix the collar.
Yeah, so, pro tip, have a neckline that you already like, then put this neckline on top of it, then just trace it. And that is what I just did. So, we're going to fix the neckline, because right now it's just a block. So now we're going to give it some nice roundedness here, and then I'm going to bind it, and then should we get go? Oh, and I'll have to cut the slit up to the X.
So that
on both sides. So
my
you
legs
actually
can move, and I can do my squat thing that I'm always doing that they all make fun of me for.
What squat thing?
I fight like this.
Like squatting?
Yeah, because then I can come over top and it really messes people up. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna look out for that now. Not that I fight you, but
you watch though.
I watch. I do watch.
Good way.
Here I am cutting out that neckline that I traced and giving it a nice little scoop neckline that I will later bind. And also I'm going to go ahead and make that dip in the front just a little bit bigger, but not too much. Now here I made a little X where my husband's center of his waist is, and now I'm drawing a line to where I am going to cut that slit. That's going to be in the front and the back. I'm pinning it together, so I'm going to cut at the same time the front and the back, so that way it'll line up perfectly. Now here I am creating strips to make the binding for the sleeves, for the neckline, and for the hem of this outfit. I'm not doing like a bias cut or anything like that. I'm just making strips and then sewing those strips together and sewing them onto the outfit. I will be using a machine stitch to stitch the first side, and then I will be wrapping it over and folding over the edge to kind of make like a hot dog, and hand finishing the underside. That way there's no visible machine stitching around the hem, and it'll have a really nice and clean finish. I think that'll be really nice. I think I made my strips about 4 inches wide. That way I know I have an inch to turn under, an inch on the side, an inch on the back, and another inch to turn under for my hot dog style of finishing here. And here I am sewing all of that down on the machine. Lucky is the best sewing supervisor ever. She's so cute and she just wants to do what I'm doing. So now that I have one side of the strip of the binding sewn on by machine, I am pinning it on the back and making sure it lays nicely so that I can hand finish it. I will just be using a nice little simple hand stitch called a hem stitch to secure this on. It just kind of pricks through the fabric and then goes into the binding, which is kind of like my hem, and then continues to do that over and over again. Lucky also really loves it when I sit still and hand sew because she gets to just sit in my lap. I would also like to thank all of my patrons over on Patreon for making videos like this really accessible for everybody through their generous support. I really appreciate it. And they also get fun other little tidbits about things that I'm currently working on, because this Gambeson was made all the way back in November. And they got to see it back in November and learn about that and my time at Castle Wars more so than everybody else, because they get a newsletter that happens every month. And thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon, and I hope you join me next time, as there will be a vlog about Castle Wars. So go ahead and click subscribe, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time as we head to Castle Wars.